Autoline Daily is brought to you by Dow Automotive Systems, improving durability and increasing design flexibility with Betamate structural adhesives at dowbetamate.com.
Here are today's top headlines. The California Highway Patrol says it supports that guy's story about his runaway Prius. Ford says the deal with Geely to buy Volvo is still on, and you will not believe how much money taxpayers are paying to lease cars for some politicians in Washington. Up next, we'll be back with the news behind the headlines. This is Autoline Daily for Thursday, March 18th, 2010, and now the news. J.D. Power just came out with its Vehicle Dependability Survey. To me, this is one of the most reliable surveys that cover quality because it looks at cars that have been in the market for 3 years and measures 198 different areas of a vehicle. So, based on 2007 models, J.D. Power rates Porsche as the most reliable brand in the American market. Next up is Lincoln, followed by Buick. Then comes Lexus, and Mercury rounds out the top 5. Now let's drop down to the bottom of the list. And fifth from the bottom is Mini. Next worst is Jeep, followed by Volkswagen. The penultimate brand is Suzuki. And the least reliable brand, according to J.D. Power, is Land Rover. We have a link on our website where you can find the entire list, and believe me, it makes for interesting reading. Yesterday, we reported Geely's attempt to buy Volvo from Ford could be delayed, but those rumors aren't true, according to Ford CEO Alan Mulally. According to Bloomberg, he says the talks are still progressing, but he would not give a time frame as to when the deal will be done. Last year, Ford and Geely agreed to sign a deal by the end of this month. Even though the event seemed kind of suspicious, Reuters reports that the California Highway Patrol released a report supporting James Sikes' version of what happened during his runaway Prius incident. However, Toyota's investigation found that Mr. Sikes was not applying the brakes forcefully and should have been able to stop his Prius. NHTSA also did an investigation and was unable to replicate his experience and found no evidence to disprove or support his claims. Nissan announced it will build its electric car, the Leaf, in England. According to the AP, the company will invest $640 million at the plant and start building the EV in 2013. The factory will produce 50,000 Leafs a year and will also build batteries for the electric car. In other Nissan news, the company launched a mini car in China. According to Gasgoo, the car, called the March, is equipped with a 1,200cc engine and will cost between $11,500 and $16,500. Nissan will produce the car in Thailand starting in April and will export it to other markets, including Asia and Europe. Bloomberg reports that Honda is planning on installing lithium-ion batteries in its Civic Hybrid within the next 2 to 3 years. The advanced power pack will show up in Acuras as well. The company's doing this to better compete with Toyota, the leader in hybrids. And this one comes from Politico.com, but we found it on Autoblog. Whether it's building a bridge to nowhere or funding maple syrup research, lawmakers in Washington are experts at spending our hard-earned money, and here is yet another example. It seems that at least 10 members of the U.S. House of Representatives are paying more than $1,000 a month in taxpayer money to lease vehicles. Harry Teague, a Democrat from New Mexico, pays $1,300 a month to lease a 2009 Chevy Malibu. Carolyn Cheeks Kilpatrick is spending $1,230 a month on a Tahoe. Astonishingly, Missouri Democrat Emanuel Cleaver shells out $2,900 a month to lease a handicap-accessible, grease-powered mobile office. Presumably, these are all only 1 or 2 year leases since House members serve for 2-year terms, but fortunately not all representatives are this wasteful. Indiana Democrat Joe Donnelly spends $450 a month, while David Dreyer, a California Republican, spends $366. But you know, that ain't nothing. Autoblog reports that the monthly lease rate for a Lexus LFA works out to $298,000 for 2 years. And that works out to $12,398.44 a month, after which you own nothing. If you want to keep the car after the lease is up, you can shell out an additional $93,750. And shh, don't tell anyone in Congress about that. Coming up next, we'll take a look at the brand new Infiniti M. Last November, Infiniti turned 20. To help celebrate the occasion, it's launching a brand new M. Designers overhauled the sheet metal and redecorated the interior, while engineers updated the hardware and added new technology. There's a lot to talk about, so let's get started. 2 engines are offered on the car. Both feature Infiniti's VVEL technology, which varies the intake valve lift to control airflow into the cylinders. The base power plant is a 3.7-liter V6 that's good for 330 horsepower. A 5.6-liter V8 with direct fuel injection is optional, delivering 420 horsepower. A 7-speed automatic is the only transmission offered. Comparing rear-wheel drive models, the power-to-weight ratio for the M37 is about 11.7 pounds per horsepower and roughly 14.3 pounds per foot-pound of torque. The M56 beats those numbers with a score of 9.6 and 9.7 respectively. It's hard to believe, but on our scale, that is supercar territory. Surprisingly, during our drive, the M37 actually felt quicker than the 56, even though it's not. When you nailed the throttle, it dropped down a few gears and zinged to the red line, accelerating like a big Nissan Z. The V8 powered car, on the other hand, was slower to downshift. It kind of floats along with its 417 pound-feet of torque, but don't let that fool you. It is a rocket when you push it. The new M is not a small car, but it gets unexpectedly good fuel economy. Gas mileage is up across the board compared to last year's model. The M37 stickers at 18 in the city and 26 on the highway, while the M56 delivers 16 around town and 25 on the open road. As you'd expect, all-wheel drive cuts into those numbers by about 1 or 2 miles per gallon. Inside, designers created a comfortable and flowing interior. It's refreshingly different with an almost organic feel. As you'd expect, Infiniti is pushing all kinds of technology with the M. From its blind spot intervention system that helps drivers avoid collisions, to Eco Pedal that provides feedback through the accelerator to encourage more efficient driving, the car offers a wide array of tech. Starting price is around $47,000 for an M37, but a loaded all-wheel drive M56 tops out well past $60,000. The car will be available at dealers this spring, and we'll have a lot more on the redesigned 2011 Infiniti M in the coming days, so stay tuned. And tune in tonight for Autoline After Hours at 7 p.m. Eastern. Our guest will be John Krafchick, the CEO of Hyundai Motors America. However, to accommodate his travel schedule, we're going to pre-record that segment of the show. So get your questions in early so that we can ask Krafchick to answer them. But we'll still be live for the rest of tonight's show. That's tonight at 7 p.m. for Autoline After Hours. And that is it for today's top news in the global automotive industry. Thanks for watching.